All right, folks. So if you're not tracking on that last video, we tried something new. The King of Hammers 2025 put out a race file lap 3 last minute. They're kind of making it a little bit more difficult. So they gave out lap 1 and 2, let people pre-run for the week, and their thought is they give out lap 3 to keep it interesting last minute. Okay, so we're just trying to get lap 1 and 2 notes in the lap 3. I did this earlier, just kind of scrambling. I tried to export the waypoints out of lap 1 and 2 and import them using convert markers to audio waypoints in the lap 3. What happens is there's so many twisties out there in the rock section and the rock lopes that it pulled a lot of lap 1 and 2 notes that were outside of lap 3 in the lap 3, because it's kind of looking for markers within the vicinity of the route line that you're selecting. And again, it's not perfect, it is what it is, but I had to go through and actually hand delete a lot of points by looking at my phone, lap 1 and 2 next to it, and just kind of seeing what wasn't supposed to be there. Anyway, it probably took me 25, 30 minutes to do that. I'm going to try another way. I'm going to try to delete some points before we do it. And again, you can also cut all 3 lap sections of notes up into sections and splice them all together. In the end, that is the best way. It's the most complicated way for some folks. So I'm just trying to come up with an easier way maybe to do this as fast as possible. So anyway, here we go again. I'm going to try this again a little bit differently. So we have the master file we've been working on, pre-running. We got lap 1 notes in there. We got lap 2 notes in there. And we were just given lap 3, which I put in its own collection. And in lap 3, you can see that we have a couple RCPs, VCPs that we got to bring over as well. Can't forget those. I actually forgot them the first time I did this video. The first time we tried to do this. So we can't forget those. But what we're going to do is we can't have those in here because those will also get pulled into the route when we do this. So we're going to, let's duplicate collection, copy. Just remember that we're going to be using the copy to do our editing. And now we're on the copy. So now we got lap 3 and we got lap 3 copy. We'll just say this is our working folder. And in here, I take that back. Let's not do that. Let's, sorry, I'm kind of thinking on the fly here. Let's delete that copy. Let's create a new collection. We'll just say working folder. Sorry, I'm trying to think and hold my phone here. 3 things at the same time. All right, now let's go back to lap 3. We just want to share the route over to that new folder. Copied other collection, working folder, copied. Now let's go back, because we don't want these markers to be with this thing. So now we just have a route in there. Now let's go again. Let's go to the master folder with all of our notes, and we're going to go to lap 1, and we're going to use this feature down here, share waypoints only, which is going to pull the waypoint pins out of that route line and without the track or route behind it. So we're going to share waypoints only. You can share this any way you want. You can share it to your phone through AirDrop and bring it back in. We just need to get this thing out of LeadNav, and then we're going to pull it back in. You can do it through mail. You can do it through files. I recommend the files. I made a KOH folder in files 2025. Folder's empty. We're going to save it there. Now let's go do the same thing with lap 2. Share waypoints only. AirDrop. You don't have to AirDrop it. What am I thinking? Save to files. We're going to save that there as well. And now let's go back to the working folder with the single route, lap 3 in it. Okay, let's go to the Files app where we put those files. They're zipped. Just tap them. Let's get those things unzipped. I don't know why I did 2. What's going on here? It's acting a little weird on me. Anyway, I don't know why. I just double tapped it. It was a little bit delayed, so it just opened it up like how many times. But there's lap 2 open. There's one of the lap 1s open. We're going to need one of those files. Let's go. Let's hold on lap 1. Export it to lead nav. And we want to put it in that working folder. 188 markers were put in there. Let's go back to the file app. Let's go to the lap 2 points. Export it, lead nav. Let's put it in the working folder. 281 markers put in there. Now let's go. Now we're in the working folder still. Let's go out to the route. Okay, this is where we got to before, and what we did was we just went ahead and did, which you can do, but we went to the route, and we did convert markers to audio waypoints, which that's going to suck in every marker in the vicinity of the route line into the route line as a waypoint. And then you would have to just go through and manually change the symbol, like if you wanted an arrow or a skull and crossbone, because it's just going to be default green flags. But what happened is the last time we tried this, it gets confused because this isn't a straight line. Like I had no problem over here, but in here with all these twisties and these markers, it pulled a lot of these markers in the lap 3 as well, because it kind of got confused. And I had to go through, like especially here. So here it didn't know what to do. So it's going to pull these in the route line, and then I had to go through and clean up for like 30 minutes. Again, the absolute best way would be to chop lap 1, 2, and 3 up into segments like I showed you the other day in the Prepping Lap 2 YouTube video. It's a little bit more complicated because you got 3 routes. You're definitely on your little piece of paper writing down each segment that you chop out, and you got to be very thorough about getting everything and then merging it back in line with each other so it's not spider webbed out. But the other option is to, and I don't know if this is any faster than what I just did, but if I go back out to markers, new, and now I'm like in the marker editor kind of thing, I could go through here and delete these. It's probably been the less confusing way to do this, honestly. Just doing it right now. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it's kind of a little, doesn't like it fully what I'm doing. You kind of got to zoom and kind of deleting a lot of points here individually. It doesn't really like that. Again, this is kind of new to me too, trying to do it this way. You get what I'm saying? We're deleting every point that's not along lap 3 so that it doesn't accidentally get pulled into lap 3. So all these points are from lap 1 and 2. And I'm zoomed out right now. That's why it's like it only shows so many points, you know what I mean? Like when you're... So again, I don't know if this is going to be, I mean, I know this will be less confusing doing this for a lot of people. This might be the way you want to do it. I mean, look at those points though I got to deal with. I know it'd be nice if I had like a circle, just delete all of them. But again, there's a lot going on in the background in here to make all this happen. So there's all those. That didn't take too long, and that's the majority. Well, there's a lot. Here's some. Actually, here's some. Here's some from lap 1 and 2. Here's some. And again, I mean, the really quick way to do this, if you didn't want to do any of this at all, is you could just put lap 3 route in to the master collection, and you could just run the route, and you're not going to get no audio and visual. You won't get any audio visual waypoints, but you'll at least see these coming down the line, and you can, if you got a co-pilot, he can call them out like that. Again, it's not taking me too long here. It's faster than what we did together earlier. I know that. And it's kind of boring right now, but let's go in here, make sure there's nothing in here. What else? I got these here. All right, and then we got these up here to get rid of. What else? Nothing over here. Let's see here. Is that it? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe. I think that's it. If so, that's definitely doing it that way is definitely faster than what I put out earlier. Okay, I think we're good to go. I don't see any other segments. All right, so now, if I do, let's back up to the routes, go to pull up the route, and now, if I do convert markers to audio waypoints right here, it's going to pull in these into the route line. Boom, done. Now we don't have to deal with that mess we had before, where we had all those extra points from lap 1 and 2 getting pulled into the route. And a lot of these areas just confused it, overwhelmed it, and it didn't know what to do with them, so it pulled them in, made a mess. This right here is probably the better way to do it, folks. Okay, so now let's do this here. How do I want to do this? It's the easiest way to tell you how to do it. So we still need to go back. We need those VCPs that came with the lap 3 file. So this is the working folder. We know we have lap 3 right here, and we have the VCPs that we need in here, right? So let's just do this. Let's delete this route from this folder, right? Let's delete that route. And now let's go back to the working folder, route. We have the route that we just pulled in all the notes into. Let's copy to other collection. So lap 3 collection. Now back out. So now, lap 3, we have those notes, or those VCPs, and we have our notes, right? Okay. So now what we can do, let's change the route name of this to lap 3. Caps, race ready. To match our other two. Lap 3, race ready. Okay, so now we have all of our notes. We have a collection with all the lap 3 information in it. So now let's share this. Again, you can share this to anything, but let's share it to files. Save it out to my files folder. Now, we know in our main collection, all we have is route 2. We have everything else. And again, I didn't say this, but back up. Before you try any of this, make copies. Send these to another device before you start screwing with them. But we're going to go to the Files app, and let's see where to go. It's the shared collection right here, P3. Let's unzip that. Where to go? It's up here. It's unzipped. Lap 3. This is the collection we just made together. We're going to open that. We're going to click on that. We're going to export it. We're going to bring it in the lead nav. Now we're going to bring it in to our master folder, race ready folder with our other two, with all the other stuff. I'm going to import it into that. Import. Now let's take a look. See if now we got 3 routes. Lap 1, 2, 3, race ready. Boom. There it is. Let's change the color of this one to make it different than the other ones. There you go. That, folks, is the way to do it right there. We don't have to now go through and clean up all the extra points that might have got drug in to lap 3. And then the only thing you'll have to do if you want to do it is, again, when doing it like this, it brings them in as default flags. So if you wanted to go in and, like right here, hard left, right now everything's defaulted to a flag. If you really wanted to, you could go in here and change your symbols. R1, L2, straight. You can put your dangers in. You'll have to manually stay left, mud on right. You'll want to go put a stay left in there and do that kind of thing, and then you're ready to go. Just another way to do it. I think that right there is probably the best way to do it for people who aren't very comfortable chopping the route apart and merging it back together. So you got options. I hope that helps. Maybe it does. Just another way to do it. If I was personally going to do it myself, I'm going to take laps 1, 2, and 3 with a freaking notepad next to me, and I'm going to copy segments out to make them join front to back, and then I'm going to merge them together into a complete lap 3 just like we did for lap 2. It's just a lot more confusing because you got 3 individual routes to chop apart and put back together. So you got options though. This is probably the easier way for folks that aren't very technical. Anyway, good luck.